this stuff when I step off. Okay. Come, seeker, come, traveler, come, all humankind, online or in person, whomever you love.
Come and be welcome at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Cheyenne, for here we are building a community of refuge where all have equal worth and are invited into spiritual exploration as a foundation for hope, compassionate service, and action.
This is a place where questions are encouraged, a place with room for all of who you are.
This is a place full of works in progress, a place for being human together.
Welcome. It is good to be here.
Settle in and exhale. This is a time for community.
Good morning. My name is Mike Lammers. I'm a member of the COSM Committee on Shared Ministry here at UUCC. We're here to welcome you to this church where we are on a shared journey to find meaning, connection, and community together. If you're new to us, please fill out a welcome card and drop it in the offering basket so we can share information about our activities and help find what nourishes your spirit here. There are note cards in your pew for writing your joys and sorrows for the pastoral prayer. We pass a square basket during the offering to gather these. Write your name or remain anonymous. You can write "Do Not Share" on the card if there's something you want held in care by our minister and pastoral care team, but not spoken aloud. We have many activities and events happening each week in this community. Among a few of those this week, today is a very important day in the life of our church. Today is the annual meeting, which is a very important day. We'll be voting on the budget. We're also electing new officers for various groups in the church. And then, most importantly, we're going to have a discussion of a result of the survey that the board sent out and how we'll be moving ahead in transition as Reverend Elizabeth leaves us. Also, this week, there's, by the way, right after church, you can go to the social hall and have coffee and a snack and enjoy that. But the meeting will start here in the sanctuary at noon. So be back in here at noon. It's very important that everyone stay around for that meeting. There's a new to UU class. We'll start up again. You're invited to learn more about this congregation's founding and history, our connections with Unitarian Universalism as a denomination, and about becoming a part of our hopes for the future. Newcomers, friends, and longtime attendees are all welcome. This class is especially appropriate for those who are wondering about becoming more involved as a member of this congregation in the coming months or year. This will start and be on Sunday, June 7th at noon, and it will meet in the library there. And one other thing, this is Friday, the fifth Friday drum circle. We'll meet in the social hall at 4 o'clock today. Okay. And then next week, Thursday, May 28th at 6:30 is also the Kamea House and Resource Center there. And I believe that's all the announcements. Is that correct?
I think we missed the Memorial Day plant sale, so join us on
yes.
Memorial Day to get a few plants. Steve will have all sorts of plants for you to take home, to plant in your garden or place in your house and make your own. Everything from annuals, perennials, houseplants, vegetable starters, and a portion of all the proceeds go to support this congregation. So Monday, May 25th, from 10 to noon or until we're sold out. That'll be here in the social hall. Might spill out onto the steps depending on how nice a day it is and how warm it is inside and out. And next up, I think we have our offering from Share the Plate.
We gather in person and on Zoom each week, giving from our resources to sustain the work of our church and share our abundance with community organizations, broadening the reach of our values. You can find the text to give number in your order of service, or use your Realm app for electronic giving, or your Share the Plate offerings and pledges may also be dropped in the basket in a few moments as they pass. Our Share the Plate partner for the month of May is Bethel Outreach Ministries, and today we have Janet Black here to share a little bit about their work. Thank you, Janet.
Well, Bethel Ministries found its way to my heart because I know Roy Howell quite well. He shared a corner in our office building, and he is not a quiet, timid person. He's a very confrontive, loud person. And so I often overheard him talking to people who were looking for housing or looking for a job or needed a ride or didn't have a car or wondered how in the heaven do you get work boots in your size. And Roy Howell and then was one of the volunteers of a very small organization called Bethel Ministries. It has no physical location. They use a phone number from a church that allows them that. Their overhead is so minimal. But their purpose, and they are dedicated, is to help people who have been incarcerated for more than 2 months and have been released within the last 6 months. And their objective is to, as my mother would say, give them a leg up. Many of them come from jail or the prison system with very little. They leave with what they came in with, but after they've been incarcerated, if they had an apartment, they've probably lost it. They have no way to pay their bills, and Not everyone has family that will step up and help you, and that's what Bethel Ministries does in ways that just seem so small, but they make such a difference. Somebody driving a person to get their driver's license, someone giving a ride to a job interview. And these people agree to take absolutely any job that's available. And I see Patrick Graham and Robert Eichhorn and Roy Howell and others working so hard to take these people to Needs, to go shopping, or to other places as well, to get them outfitted so that they can work. Give them a spot a spot for the night, but then they also help them get into housing and an apartment. Not easy with our crowded rental market. And they are expected to pay back what they've received, and they do. And it's not an easy fundraiser for them, because this little church is one of their main sources. They don't have cute little puppy dogs, darling little children playing on playground equipment. Their poster child doesn't touch most people's hearts. They do have a fundraiser. Their only fundraiser is in October. It's a chili dinner and a silent auction. But it is, to me, a place where your donation goes a long way, but doesn't get a lot of recognition. Thank you so much.
For the offering of our hearts, of our treasures, of all our gifts. We give gratitude in this moment. We meet on holy ground, brought into being as life encounters life, as personal histories merge into the communal story, as we take on the pride and pain of our companions, as separate selves become community. How desperate is our need for one another, our silent beckoning to our neighbors, our invitations to share life and death together, our welcome into the lives of those we meet, and their welcome into our own. May our souls capture this treasured time. May our spirits celebrate our meeting in this time and in this space, for we meet on holy ground. And now I invite you to take your teal hymnals, turn just a little ways to hymn 1000, Morning Has Come, as we greet this day and this time together in shared song. A deep thank you to our hymn leaders who help us to sing vibrantly and confidently.
We light this chalice for the wholeness we seek, and the wholeness we already carry. May this flame remind us that we are held in a community where every story, every struggle, every joy belongs. As we gather in this sacred space, each of us is imperfect. Each of us is essential. May this light guide us toward deeper connection, wider compassion, and the courage to travel this path together.
Gathered here on this day, as we do each week, we join together in community, carrying the sorrows and the joys of our lives in grief and celebration. And so, will you join me in a spirit of prayer or meditation? Spirit of life, spirit of love. Let us be a support for one another. Let us amplify joy and ease one another's burdens. Let us dwell together in the wonder and mystery of this magnificent and ever-changing life. Let us hold gratitude for friends who have not been seen recently joined back with us today. Let us hold joy in our hearts for Heather's continued improvement after surgery. If you see Heather in the kitchen, I invite you kindly to be a part of the blessing of offering her rest. Take whatever is in her hands and invite her to take a seat or stand near you and tell you stories while you do some kitchen work. In this way, we can support one another in taking the time we need when healing is the work that needs to happen. And we are so grateful for the ongoing work of FIRE, our friends of immigrants responding ethically, who are bringing care and community goodwill to those affected by immigration raids in our community, individuals, as well as challenge to the systems that allow this to operate. We offer as well good wishes to my mother, Marty, who continues to heal after her hip surgery 2 weeks ago, and blessings on all our leaders, all those in leadership positions, especially our board, our outgoing president, Emily Smith, our leadership development team, our incoming president, Audrey Bunton, and all the many unsung heroes of our committees, like compensation and benefits and finance, and the Committee on Shared Ministry and Building and Grounds and the Garden, and so much more. All these people keep this congregation running and have devoted so much time to our building, our financial well-being, and our congregational community health over this past year in particular. As we approach our congregational meeting, let us remember to hold gratitude for all those who have stepped up to leadership and all those who will in the coming years. And let us also hold a moment in between Mother's Day and Father's Day for all those who are mourning lost loved ones during these times. And let us take a moment to give thanks for the warmth of the earth, helping the flowers to bloom, the plants to grow, letting us unfurl and open ourselves to the glory and joy of the natural world. In this time, let us remember that all things come in cycles and that growth is a miracle each and every day. So may we give thanks for this changing earth and hold room in our hearts for the joys as yet unshared and the sorrows too tender to speak aloud. May we find in this space peace and comfort and community which enfolds us. Amen, and blessed be. And now, if any young or young at heart folks wish to join us on the chancel, we invite you to be part of sharing the leadership of speaking our covenant in unison before our time for all ages. The words to our covenant may be found on the inside cover of your order of worship. So we begin. Love is the spirit of this church, and service its cause. This is our covenant, to dwell together in peace, to speak truth, and to help others. And today, as we sit together, we are telling a story attributed to India, sometimes to Asia. It is a good story, a helpful folk tale, wherever it may come from originally. It is called The Broken Vessel. For one day, a farmer in a village went out to gather water. He always gathered clean water from the waterfalls up the path from his village. He would travel all the way up that long winding path with 2 large clay jars. Some say he had a yoke and carried them behind him, some that he rested them each on his shoulders. But however it was, he took those clay jars, filled them each at the waterfall, and brought them home every day. Well, one of those jars was perfect. The other had a bit of a crack down the side, not so far that it couldn't be used, but just enough that the water would run out slowly, drip, drip, dripping along the path as he headed home. And by the time he reached his house, he usually had about 1.5 jars of water, certainly still enough for his needs. And so he continued to use the jar, but that one day, the jar spoke up. Now, this is not a usual occurrence, not even in India or Asia or wherever this folktale comes from. And so the farmer was quite astounded and listened deeply. The jar said, "I am so embarrassed. I'm ashamed, and I want to apologize to you." The farmer asked, "For what? You can talk. You seem to be a miracle of a jar, in fact." The jar said, "No, but I am cracked. I am broken. And every time we come home, I fail to do all that I should do and bring you a full jar of water." The farmer said, "I think that you are wondrous. But I tell you what, let's go out again today and see how things go. Look along the path as you go and as we return, and let us see if my perspective or yours is the more generous one. And so the jar took her usual place, and the farmer took his, and they walked together. The farmer carrying his 2 jars, as always, up the path to the waterfall. The farmer filling his 2 jars, as always, under the waterfall. And that jar trying to hold together at the cracked place, but looking to see what could be done. Well, a jar cannot repair its cracks alone. And so, as always, when they got home, there was about half a jar of liquid left. And the jar said, "It was a beautiful walk. All the flowers that I saw all the way home were lovely. But I am afraid once again I have failed you." And the farmer said, "Did you notice, though, on your way up, you didn't see so many flowers, but on the way down, there were so many, all gathered along the edge of the path, for you and your cracked self. You have been watering the side of the road all the way home, each and every day. And because of that, my journey is more beautiful." And so it is, and so it was. Each of us, however cracked, however broken we may feel, may be watering the flowers along our path by offering of ourselves just as we are. And that is our story for today. Thank you all for joining me to listen and hear these words. And thank you all. You can head to your seats as we move through our service.
Today's sacred message is from Embracing Our Suffering from Plum Village. One day, the Buddha's assistant, the Venerable Ananda, was outside watching for guests and saw someone approaching. He had the impression that he knew the person, but forgot his name. Soon, however, he recognized Mara, the tempter, who caused the Buddha many difficulties. Even the night before the Buddha attained enlightenment, Mara was there to tempt him. Ananda saw Mara approaching and felt uncomfortable, so after a few pleasantries, he asked, "What are you here for, Mara?" "I want to visit the Buddha," Mara said. Ananda said, "Why should you want to see the Buddha?" Mara, "Why should the Buddha see you? Are you not ashamed of yourself? Don't you remember how under the Bodhi tree you were defeated by the Lord? How could you bear seeing him again? I don't think he will see you. You are the enemy of the Buddha." But finally Ananda announced Mara, hoping the Lord would say, "I have no time for him." But to his surprise, the Buddha smiled and said, "Mara, wonderful. Ask him to come in." The Buddha stood and did hugging meditation with Mara and invited Mara to sit in the best place in the cave, a stone bench, and asked, "Ananda, please make tea for us." You might guess that Ananda was not entirely happy, but since the Lord had asked, Ananda did so, and tried to look deeply at why things were like that. The Buddha looked at Mara lovingly and said, "Dear friend, how have you been? Is everything okay?" Mara said, "No, not at all. Things go very badly with me. Buddha, I'm tired of being Mara. And I want to be someone else, like you. You are kind, and wherever you go, you are welcome. You are bowed to with lotus flowers and offer bananas, oranges, and kiwis, and all kinds of fruits. As a Mara, I must speak in tricky language and use many tricks, and it is tiresome. So I have come to propose that we exchange roles. You be Mara, and I'll be Buddha." Ananda became very scared. What if his teacher accepted the exchange of roles? He would become the attendant of Mara. So he hoped Buddha would refuse the proposal. The Buddha looked at Mara, asking, "Mara, do you think it's a lot of fun being a Buddha? People don't understand me. They misunderstand me and put words into my mouth that I never said. In the name of the Buddha. In my name, they do things that are very harmful to Dharma. Being a Buddha is also difficult. If you want to be a teacher and you want people to practice the Dharma correctly, that is not an easy job. I don't think you'd enjoy being the Buddha. The best is for each of us to stay in our own position and try to improve the situation and enjoy what we are doing." If you were with Ananda and very mindful, you'd feel then that Buddha and Mara were friends who needed each other, like day and night, like flowers and garbage. You might compare Buddha with the flowers, very fresh, very beautiful, and compare Mara with the garbage, which doesn't smell good. Yet all flowers eventually become garbage. That is the meaning of impermanence. All flowers have to become garbage. If you practiced Buddhist meditation, you find out about very interesting things, like garbage. Though garbage stinks and is not pleasant to hold in your hand, if you know how to take care of garbage, it will transform back into flowers. Gardeners don't throw away garbage. They preserve and take care of garbage. And in a few months, the garbage becomes compost, growing lettuce, tomatoes, and flowers. That is what the Buddha described as the non-dualistic way of looking at things. And our core reading today is from Moment of Truth by Sarah Campbell. UU Minister Sarah Campbell writes, "I want to tell you something that happened a few years ago on a Sunday after services. The congregation I was serving was gathered for a congregational meeting. I was sitting somewhere near the front, and someone came and whispered to me that there was a strange man who wanted to see the minister. I knew what that meant. He wanted money, of course, and what better time to be sure to catch the minister at church than on Sunday morning. I could smell the alcohol on the stranger's breath immediately. He said, 'I want to pray and turn my life over to Jesus.' Obviously, he didn't know what kind of church he was in. I explained that although Jesus was quite welcome in our church, we probably would not be able to meet his needs, and I directed him to another church down the street. 'No,' he said, 'that doesn't matter. I just need to be able to pray right now. I have really messed up my life with drugs and alcohol, and I want to make a new start. All I need right now is a place to pray. Well, I said, still expecting to be asked for money, as you can see, we have a meeting in the church. This really isn't an appropriate place. That doesn't matter, said the man. I just need to pray now. This is my moment of truth. Now. It has to be now. I suppose we could go into my office, I said, still feeling like the man had come to the wrong place. As we entered my office, the man immediately fell to his knees, and amidst sobs, he began praying. About that time, I caught on. He really did come to church to pray. As he prayed, I placed my hands on his shoulders, and when he finished, I asked him his name and offered a prayer too, saying his name and asking God to forgive him and give him the strength to make amends to his family and to change. Then I talked with the man for a few minutes about support groups and drug programs, and he left, and I went back to the meeting. His moment of truth? Maybe so, but it was my moment of truth too. Here was this strange man wanting to turn his life over to Jesus. Here was a man who came to a group of UUs wanting to pray, of all things. Well, no wonder I was at a loss. How often do you suppose that happens? Anyone who comes to a UU gathering wanting to turn his or her life over to Jesus is likely to get directed to a group of Baptists or Methodists where we suspect they meant to go in the first place. That was my moment of truth, because in those few moments when that man was on his knees, I let go of my fears. I let go of my distrust. I let go of my judgments. I let go of my awareness of the tremendous gap between what he believed and what I believed. It was indeed a moment of truth. It was a moment of presence, a moment of grace, a moment when there was a power at work that brought this man and myself into a common territory, a territory where human souls connect with one another and with the transcendent. I might easily have said to him, I'm sorry, but your God really doesn't live in this church, and my God is an all-encompassing principle that has neither gender nor ears. And the irony is that my expansive cosmic force would turn out to be smaller than his Father in heaven. In the moment of truth, that was a moment of presence. It didn't matter. It just did not matter. His God, my God, our God, no God. It didn't matter. What does matter? That is what the moment of truth was all about. What matters is that our religion offers us an opportunity for connection with ourselves, with others, with a holy presence. Last week I got a phone call from a colleague. Do you have a few minutes? He asked. A couple, I replied. I'm supposed to be in a staff meeting in 2 minutes. I'm conducting a little survey, he said, and I would like to know your definition of spirituality. It reminded me of my interview last spring with the search committee of this congregation. In 2 minutes, describe your theology. The main thing I have to say about spirituality, I replied, is that we spend too much time talking about it and trying to define it. Then I said, spirituality is the experience of holy presence in our lives. Then he said, what do you think you use want when they say they would like more spirituality? Sorry, time for my meeting. I was glad to have an excuse to hang up, for I surely could not have answered that one. Now, as I think about the moment of truth, I see it as a moment of spiritual connection. I believe it has to do with both absence and presence. Spirituality is both the miracle of birth and the mystery of death. It is the solace of solitude and the despair of loneliness. It is stirred in us by the beauty of ocean swells a few miles away and the ugliness of an unjust war in a distant land. That holy presence speaks to us in the blended instruments of a symphony and in the haunting cry of a hungry child. It is giving and receiving and giving. Spirituality is the flower and the compost heap.
Thank you, Lloyd.
As James Luther Adams famously said, as we paraphrase in our opening each week, church is a place you go where you get to practice what it means to be human. Here in a Unitarian Universalist church, that means we are a place that we come with our own stories, our backgrounds, our experiences, to find a common way forward through the many choices that we are making to act upon our values together. As we heard from the Reverend Sarah, church is a place that we make for the Spirit to move. We never know just how that might happen on any given Sunday. Sometimes it is in and through the meetings and scheduled business we have. Sometimes the magic of the soul happens in spite of all we have intended and all that we have carefully made room for. And this community is doing that work, becoming a place for people who need refuge, becoming a place for those in need of welcome. We do this through our care, through our justice work, through the ways in which we attend to one another. Over the years, we have made this a welcoming congregation, doing sustained work to hold members of the gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, and queer community within this space, and doing outreach in the world beyond us. More recently, we created FIRE to support people being impacted by the increasingly arbitrary and racist immigration enforcement in this nation. We have continued to deepen our connections within our community at that same time through small group ministries and social opportunities, everything from the depth of Wellspring to the joyous fun of game nights and craft nights, to the service auction, offering a place for people to gather in good fun and fellowship. This community has chosen again and again to lean into our hopes. Instead of staying small, we moved from our little church into this large space in order to share with our community. We helped with the founding of the Kaumea Shelter. We've helped for years with Family Promise. Most recently, we've worked through the board to reimagine the future of this congregation. As we continue to grow and change, becoming large and small and large again, we're seeking to find a balance between professional and lay leadership and the realities of this landscape. And that work is not easy. But as you've heard again and again, it doesn't take perfect people or uniquely great visionaries to make a place beautiful, to make a place good and strong and ready. Your cracked vessel is a part of creating beauty in this world and in this place. A casserole tends a belly in need of filling, even if you're not the greatest of chefs. Your kind but imperfect words are enough to soothe a soul, and sometimes it is simply the standing with, placing a hand on the shoulders, and asking the name of someone in need that can transform a life, that can make a prayer feel real and needed. We know at every moment in our lives we are somewhere different. Sometimes we are the cracked jar, ashamed at our insufficiency for the tasks we are given, spilling water everywhere. In other times, we are the flower, the beauty, or the garbage, the Buddha or the Mara. Sometimes we feel we need to be composted, and sometimes we are reborn into life, feeling our growing and thriving selves. Throughout the course of our lives, throughout the greater history of this congregation and of our faith, what we truly need to remember in order to find our wholeness is that we are all the parts. We are all of the story. The teller, the listener, the actor, the object, the audience. We come together in community each week to play out our parts, always different, but always creating more beauty together than we can alone, as we learn and teach through all of our experiences. For the magic of this congregation, this church, is in no single story, but in the ways that we hold space and build the stage, not for only a scripted performance, but for the improv of the gathering. We make a place of trust where the unexpected can be responded to with kindness, with honesty, with love, even when Mara appears at Buddha's door, even when the cracked vessel pours out her heart in lament. In every moment, we have gathered and built this congregation to teach us how to answer the call of love, how to offer generosity first, how to seek out and amplify our diversity, to offer our best knowledge that we are all filled with worthiness. We are all deserving of dignity. We are all, in every moment of our lives, precious and right for this moment. This is what this congregation has spent its energy on becoming and rebuilding and becoming again through all the shifts of size and identity over the years, to be a home for growing souls who learn to be each day a little more able not just to forgive each other for our foibles and our cracks, but to celebrate the ways in which they bring beauty to our space and make flowers pop up in our wake. As we move into this morning and our congregational meeting, may we consider the work of this church, that from our deepest theological depths, in every infused piece of our being, we hold that spirit of love. May we hold it through our processes, through our interactions. May we strengthen our foundations for care and action in the ways that we do our business and our governance, the ways that we live out our values into this world. May we always know that the spirit of love is here among us, moving in the margins, creating beauty along the edges of our path, and ready for us to answer its call. May it be so. And now, let us rise in body or in spirit as we turn in our teal hymnals to hymn 1014, Answering the Call of Love. Let us affirm our cause.
Soul
together as hearts beat as one, emboldened by faith, we dare to proclaim we are answering the call of love. A bright new day is dawning, when love will not divide. Reflections of grace in every embrace, fulfilling a vision divine. We are answering a call of love. Hands joined together as hearts beat as one, emboldened by faith, we dare to proclaim we are answering a call of love. We are answering a call of love.
Please remain standing as we extinguish our chalice flame and speak together the words in our order of service. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry into our hearts until we are together again.
And so, as we go forth from this place, and as we return to it, let the rhythm of this community, the joy of this gathering, the introspection of our days, and all the ways in which we may be cracked or insufficient, be known to us as part of the beauty of being human, for we are glorious together. Blessed be.